Cursed. Cursed. We all go a little mad sometimes.
There's a formula to it. A very simple formula.
I saw the boogeyman. I saw him outside.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Hey everybody, welcome into a brand new episode of Tomb of Terrors with me, Old Man Brad. Whether you are new to the show or returning for another episode, thank you so much for giving me a listen. If you love the show, drop a review over on your favorite podcast app or share it out to the world, or you can become a patron, patreon.com/oldmanbrad. Make sure you follow me over on social media, on Blue Sky and Instagram, just look for Old Man Brad. And then of course, make sure you are following me over on Letterboxd, so you can see all the watches I do. This episode's new movie is Giallo-inspired movie that just came out on Amazon Prime this past week to be able to rent and purchase, and that is Saturnalia, directed and co-written by Daniel John Lurch. I'll dive into it more here in a little bit, but this is an interesting film. It has many layers to kind of pull back on it. I'll just tell you that much. But before I dive into the film, I want to tell you, if you are in the Cincinnati area, come out to Frightful Fridays on the third Friday of the month. So happy to be partnered with the Esquire Theater to host a horror screening once a month. We have our screening for April, which is this week, April 17th, the week that this episode comes out. Come out as we are going to watch one of my favorite horror movies of all time. We're going to be watching Lucio Fulci's Zombie, aka Zombie 2, or Zombie Flesh Eaters, however you want it to be titled. But I'm so happy that I'll be able to see this for the very first time on the big screen. This is the first part in 3 undead films I'm going to be doing for the next 3 months. April 17th, 10 p.m. Let's watch a movie together. Let's dive into Saturnalia.
What you got in there, a dead body or something?
Not yet.
Welcome to the Ulster Mary's Academy.
Why are you here? Did you kill your folks?
Don't be late.
Lift.
It's the one thing you can control here.
Did your parents' lawyer tell you about your trust? Yes. If you want to afford yourself the lifestyle of luxury you grew up with, you're stuck here until you graduate.
Look, who were those men?
Come to lights out sometimes. I don't know what they do down there. And I'm not trying to find out.
A newcomer to a prestige boarding school comes to realize that the institution and its cruel headmistress are a front for something much more evil. This is written by Daniel John Lurch, Julia Nielsen, Daryl Zarka Workman, and directed by Daniel John Lurch. This stars Sophia Anthony, Velvet, Dante Blake, and many others. As I said at the front, this just came out on Amazon Prime to be able to rent and purchase. You can go check it out right now. I'll let you know this movie is very up and down for me, but I definitely would recommend it to see it visually, because there are a lot of visuals and a lot of moments in this movie that I really enjoyed. There are pieces, like it's an up and down kind of film, and there are pieces that didn't fully work for me, but then there are other moments I'm like, I dig this. I love what they did here. So like the synopsis said, you have this student that is coming to a boarding school, played by Sophia Anthony, and I will tell you, she does a fantastic job in this movie. I think she's the strongest one in this film. And of course, just like any indie horror film, any indie film that you get budgetary restraints, and there are just a lot of things, shooting schedules, a lot of other stuff. I mean, you'll hear an interview later this week about all of that. I judge them by the entertainment value of the film. Did I love the story? Did I love some of the look and feel? Did I love pieces of the film? Just because it doesn't have a budget doesn't mean I'm gonna go after it. I'm not that type of person. But this movie, it's very up and down. Like the first 15 minutes of this, you have this cold open kill. It looks beautiful. You have that bright colored backgrounds, the reds, the blues, there's some greens in there, and very much Giallo feeling. The way you're kind of, something's lurking in the shadows. There's a masked figure, and that kill at the beginning is just, this whole beginning scene is just a fantastic scene. It set the tone right off the bat that I'm like, I'm all in for this. Unfortunately, the rest of the movie doesn't kind of hit as well as this. The beginning and the end hit the hardest. Everything in the middle, it kind of goes up and down. It fluctuates a bit. But I loved the look and feel of this opening shot. There's this girl that is trying to escape something. There's someone following her. It set the tone for the film right off the bat to really get me excited, to really draw me into it. Then you have this girl who's coming to this boarding school, and what I love is as she's coming up, she has like a driver, whether it's an Uber driver, a cab driver, kind of talking to her, and it's kind of setting moments of what we might get here later. When she gets into the boarding school, of course, she's the new girl, and it's very much kind of like a Mean Girls-esque almost, where the other girls don't like her and they're trying to kind of set against her. It's very much kind of a teen drama. You kind of feel like it's one of those young adult kind of teen drama shows, that just kind of the way it kind of plays out with this girl. The headmistress, played by Velvet, just seems like she has a vendetta against her. The girl's very much a rebel in a way, to where I don't want to play along with what you have. I'm going to buck the system and see how far we can take this. Now, as I said before, Sophia Anthony, who plays our lead, is fantastic in this. So, I mean, there's rough around the edges acting. You're going to get that. But she stood out. She was great in this lead role, and you kind of got to a point where you're rooting for her. What I kind of wish we would have got more of in this film, the tone that it set at the beginning of the movie with the colors, this killer, and everything else. I kind of wanted more of that put throughout the film a bit more. You get some of it here and there. You get these scenes that feel like, okay, is this otherworldly? Are we going to have slasher, killer, black glove killer type of thing that you would think of if you think of a Giallo? What else is at play here? And that's where I loved those moments of the film more than the kind of teen drama-esque of the rest. If I did have one big complaint of the movie, it was the sound in it. Not the music, but the sound of dialogue and everything else. It kind of had a white noise kind of going throughout. Sometimes you heard rustling of the microphones, and that sound just kind of turned me off a little bit. But the music itself, like the score and music from the film, was great. The music was done by Claudio Simonetti, who worked with Dario Argento on many of his previous films, and this is one of his first scores he's done in quite a long time. That music sounded great. It was fantastic. It was just the sound with dialogue, other pieces through the film that just, it felt to me, for someone who listens to audio, kind of editing, doing all that type of stuff, and a lot of times when I watch movies, if I don't have my surround sound on, I'll wear it with headphones. So little things really kind of pop out when you're doing that. And this just, it was one of those pieces. As we kind of go through this film and figure out more and more of the darkness that is happening through this, our last probably 20-ish minutes of the movie, again, it takes us back to how I felt at the beginning. We get some of those colors. You get some odd pieces. There's a scene in this, might be a bit of a spoiler, and I'm curious if this was meant to be that, but there's a man in this. If you've ever seen the poster or art for Anthropophagus, the film, or if you've ever seen the movie, there's this man, and the poster, it's this man, and he's taking this big bite of flesh, and the way it's stretching out. There's a scene in this movie, has a guy that looks exactly like that, doing that exact thing. And I'm like, oh, are they connecting it to that? Is it a homage to that? Is it, their fans kind of, and it immediately I thought of the poster art for that when it popped up, and I liked how it looked. They did a good job getting that to look very well. The last 20 minutes of this, we get some more of the creep factor. You get those colors, that feeling that we got at the beginning again, and it drew me back in, leading up to what we get in the end. I'm not going to spoil what exactly happens in this. Let's just say there are some dark things at play. We'll just leave it at that. But overall, it's a mild recommend, because I would recommend this movie for the look of it, for the score, because the look, the colors, the pieces that we get here and there, I really liked. But then it kind of wavers up and down a bit through the film, and it hits me again at the end. So I would recommend checking it out, especially for that look. The score sounded great. It's a mild recommend for Saturnalia. Enough of my ramblings for Saturnalia. I want to leave you with my double feature. My double feature for this week, I kind of had to think about what other film should we pair this with? A boarding school Giallo inspired film. And you know what I went with? Let's go with a Dario Argento film that is a bit off the cuff, a bit odd, that you could kind of pair with this as that boarding school-esque horror. And that would be Phenomena from 1985. This stars Jennifer Connelly. It's got Donald Pleasance in it. Goes by an alternate title, Creepers. But this is one that you can stream on Tubi. Phenomena and Saturnalia. You have this great double feature title too. Phenomena, Saturnalia. And that's my double feature for this episode. Well, that will do it for this episode of Tomb of Terrors. Thank you so much for everyone who listens. Make sure you subscribe to the show so you don't miss any episode that happens over here. Whether it is these short reviews, interviews, I have one coming later this week, versus Tales from Tubi, or The Year of Nashi. One Paul Nashi film a month coming to the show with a guest, as well as more films over on Patreon and on my YouTube page. So I'm going to be doing 20 plus Paul Nashi films throughout the entire year. Excited for it. But I will be back soon. Just snuggle up in that blanket, turn off the lights, because it's okay to be scared. We'll talk to you later, everybody.